Fake and repainting strategies in PineScript. PineScript is a very nice language and it's really easy to code a strategy in PineScript, but unfortunately quite a lot of things can go wrong. There are a few bugs and few things that you need to be very careful about when coding your strategies. And I gather it like the few the most frequent issues traders have with PineScript strategies, and I will show them and explain these things to you, and will explain you how you can fix that. So here let's start with the code I have, and this code is actually in version 2 of PineScript, and I did this for a reason, because this bug started when PineScript was in version 1 and version 2, and this is the kind of default behavior of security function. So issue is that like in version 1 and version 2, when you're using security functions like that without any other arguments, it outputted you this value with look ahead. So basically you can access the data from the future. And of course, if you base your strategy logic based on the future, it won't give you any realistic results. So let's add it to chart to see how it looks. And as you can see, I have super simple strategy, but I have just amazing performance. And of course, it's not realistic to have something like that. And if you look at this blue line, it represents daily close. As you can see here, we have, for example, last hourly bar of the day, and we basically know this value for like entire day in advance. And of course, that's not realistic, and that won't work in reality. So my advice for you, not to use version 2 of PineScript, try to update it to like the most recent version, so version 5 at the moment, and this will work better for you, because at least you know what to expect. After version 2 of PineScript, they fixed kind of default behavior of a request security function call, and now to go like into the future, you have to specify your look ahead parameter like explicitly, and this at least will let you know that something is going on there, and be careful with that. There is some like cases when you want to use this look ahead parameter even in the strategies, but be careful with that. If you're not sure how it works, don't use it. And this basically reproduces the same behavior of the previous strategy I showed you in version 2, but at least this way you can see what's going on. So be careful with this parameter and don't use it if you don't know how it works. Next big mistake is to use like Renko bars when kind of backtesting your strategies. So here I have a pretty simple like strategy when basically I want to go long on the first green candle, and I want to go short for the first like red candle. And this is pretty simple strategy, but it will give us pretty amazing results. As you can see, it's just very good, and have amazing numbers. And of course, it's not realistic. And the problem is here that in PineScript, rank is not computed at tick data. It is derived from the bars like open, high, low, close values. And of course, it's not realistic to use like open, high, low, close, or for example, 1 hour chart to reproduce Renko. And of course, in reality, you won't be able to trade like that. So my advice for you is not to use Renko at all, or just to go to the lowest time frame possible, I don't know, even seconds, and try to build Renko based on this time frame. But it's really hard to work with Renko like that. Or actually, there's some like scripts that tries to kind of simulate Renko on normal bars. It's quite tricky to do that, but it's possible solution to estimate it more properly. Another like mistake is to use like Heikin-Ashi candles for your strategies. And the problem is that Heikin-Ashi are not real candles, and the prices here you see here, they're computed and you might not see them in reality. And here I have again simple script, and I will apply this to my chart, and as you can see, script gives us really amazing performance. And a problem is that when you compute your Heikin-Ashi like signals, that's not a problem actually. but the problem is that when PineScript started to compute your backtest, because it uses like a Heikin-Ashi prices to like as an entry, as an exit, but of course price might not be there, and it's not realistic to enter a trade at this level. So my advice for you is not to use Heikin-Ashi for backtesting itself, but what you can do, you can actually create like some simulation of Heikin-Ashi values inside your scripts, and after that use this for a signal, but still apply backtesting to like normal candles. Another big source of like wrong backtests are when you have like trailing stop loss with really small size of trailing points and trailing offset compared to candle size. So here I have really dummy strategy. I basically go long for every bar and I close my long with like trailing stop loss, and I have only like 400 min ticks for like trail points and trailing offset. And when I add this to chart, you will see that we have just crazy performance with like zero drawdown. And it's happening because PineScript is not very clever when computing things for inside one bar. So if it sees one bar and it's a green bar, for example, it thinks that price go from open to low, then to high, then to close. And it's opposite for the red candles, and that's it. And of course, if you have any wick of the candle, and it's happening very often, and if you put your like trailing points and trailing offset to like amount of ticks that is lower than your wick you have for this candle, you will always be in profits, and that's not the case, of course. And yeah, be careful with this code as well. Try to use really significant amounts of like trailing points and trailing offset to your instrument and to your time frame. That's quite important. And the last important thing I want to talk about in this video is using calc on order fields parameter for your strategy. And this is actually quite weird parameter because I don't think it works correctly in PineScript. So here I have super simple strategy again. I have like two crosses, crossover and cross under. And when price crossover is simple of an average, I go long, and when it cross under, I go short. Everything is super simple, but things start to be weird when we add this calc on order fields parameter. So let's add it to chart, and you will see that we have really very decent performance, and we can think that it's probably a good strategy to trade. But if you see this closely, you will see that actually behavior of this parameter is quite weird. So let's look at this candle. So here we have, for example, like an exit for our strategy, and we closed our position at open of this bar. But for this bar, we had an entry again, and we expected to close at open of the next bar, but we actually opened it at the open of this bar. But we computed signal based on close of this candle. So of course that cannot be realistic, and of course that won't give us correct backtesting results. If you want to see the difference between this performance and the performance without this parameter, let's just try to change this to false. Let's add it to chart again with all the same code except this parameter, and as you can see, the strategy become much worse. So be careful with this parameter as well, and try not to use it if you have any doubts about its functionality.